See ultimate speed comparison gearing up for that. Let's join our commentators, Richard Crail, Jack Perkins and Nicole Livingston.
Thank you very much, Rusty. It is an exciting race to see. We saw this yesterday, so they've had, I guess, a couple of bites of the cherry to try and get some bragging rights as to who can win the ultimate speed comparison.
It's one of the best parts of the weekend, I think. It's a really good demonstration of the speed between a current Formula One car, a V8 supercar, and a Mercedes-AMG road car. Although they might be dodging some Mazda parts from the Celebrity Challenge we had before, what it is, it's a handicap race where we see the road car driven by a former MotoGP world champion, Mick Doohan, and a V8 supercar driven by another former MotoGP world champion in Casey Stoner. They staggered start, and the aim is to try and have an even finish at the end and really show the difference in speed.
And David Coulthard driving the Red Bull F1. So they're not mugs.
No,
they're exceptionally well-credentialed drivers
just
out there.
An alarming amount of talent spaced between three cars on two wheels and four, isn't it? Of course, David Coulthard, a winner here and 13-time Grand Prix winner and top three in the World Championship a couple of years in a row. So remarkable stuff, and there's a handicap system in that. In this speed comparison, Jack. So it's based on the results we've seen from the two that have already been run. So the AMG road car goes first with Mick, then the V8 supercar down the road, and then the Formula One car, what seems like an eternity later, sets off, but it's beaten it twice so far this weekend.
That's correct. So the competitors all had practice Thursday morning when we first started racing this weekend. They all set their base lap times. So from there, we organised the staggers. So first to go is Mick Doohan, and then it's about a 20 to 25 second wait for Casey Stoner to depart, and then it's another 20 to 25 seconds for David Coulthard to depart. And that gets tuned up each day because each day the lap times are slightly different and the finishing order is slightly different.
I'm going to keep you honest on that, Jack, because I've got my stopwatch out today to actually time the gap. Now, there is the SL63 AMG. It's got torque 800. It's a 410 kilowatt output. It's a 5.5 litre bi-turbo. I got to drive it a couple of days ago.
I'm very jealous.
And Mick Doohan had a crack at me for driving like I was going to the shops. 410
kilowatts. That's almost V8 supercar power.
I know, and this is a car, literally, they just pulled the Rego label off. I think Mick Doohan unscrewed the Rego label off, and he drives it like he stole it, and it's such an impressive bit of kit for what is a road car, and he's been going around pretty quick. I think the only difference between going a little bit quicker than the V8 supercar is probably the fact that it's on road tyres, not proper racing tyres.
So 16.8 seconds separating the first two cars, and you'll see the speed comparison here too. So that will keep you up to date as to whether or not that V8 supercar can bridge a gap to the Mercedes, and whether, again, the Formula One car can bridge the gap.
So the biggest difference in speed, I guess, between the V8 supercar and the Formula One, for example, is the power and the weight. So, and the aerodynamics on the Formula One car is staggering. It's got so much more grip and corner speed through all the slower corners, and that's where it really will catch that car of Casey Stoner. But the peak speeds as well. The peak speed of the Formula One car is nearing 285, 290 kilometres an hour. Casey Stoner a lot closer to 265 k's, and Mick Doohan would be around about 250 kilometres an hour. 23.9
seconds was the gap between the V8 car and also then the F1 car. So I wanted to ask you as well, in terms of when we see the F1 car making up the speed, where is the ability for an F1 car to make up the speed? Is it the acceleration out of the corners? Is it just the sheer pace of the car?
It's a combination of everything. I mean, the V8 supercar has 600 horsepower. It's got a lot of speed, but it's nearly, over a ton in weight. So getting that car around the corners is not as easy as a Formula One car. It's got a lot of aerodynamics. It's very light. So the corner speeds, entry, mid-corner and exit speed is superior to that of the V8 supercar.
So there's Mick Doohan out of that fast chicane around the back of the circuit. So many great scenes there over the years at Albert Park. There's Casey Stoner, so you can see the gap closing in. The Red Bull racer, this is the car that he runs in the Dunlop V8 Supercar Series, the second tier V8s. Had his debut 2 weeks ago on the streets of Adelaide. You caught up with him yesterday. Great chat, by the way. And looking pretty relaxed. Mick having a moment mid-corner there. And don't believe for a second that Mick Doohan is not trying hard, because he is. And David Coulthard not yet in sight, guys, so he's not even in the screen.
Oh, here he comes.
This is quite a funny experience when you're driving that V8 supercar. The Formula One car looks like a bee or a wasp in your mirrors, and then all of a sudden it comes howling up behind you, and this sets up to be a great finish. Have a look at this.
This will be really close, in fact, but David Coulthard will just get there. The 3 cars across the line covered by 0.3 of a second. So the handicapping is bang on. And between Mick Doohan, who was second, by the way, and Casey Stoner, 0.06 of a second. So between the SL63 and the V8 Supercar, less than 1/10, but between all three, 0.3 of a second. That's pretty good.
So we see the lap time there of 1:41. Also for Coulthard.
Yeah, that's a standing start lap time,
Yes.
so it's a little bit behind what the guys were doing yesterday in practice in Formula 1. We see Mick Doohan having a bit of fun in that AMG. Pretty cool to do that in something that's worth nearly $500,000, so that's cool to see Mick enjoying it. So yeah, standing start lap time means they're a little bit slower than normal. Casey Stoner at 2:05. That's still very similar to what the pole man in the V8 Supercar will do on his first lap of the race.
Jack, I forgot to ask you something that I wanted to, and I know we're just finishing off this speed comparison. You've done this before. Can you name drop for me and tell me who you beat?
Yeah, nothing major. I mean, I did it a couple of years ago, and I beat Sebastian Vettel. He's won a couple of world championships, but I'm up in the commentary box with you, Nicole, and Richard, and I think I'm happy up here.
Good boy. Well, it's nice to know.
That's the most PC answer you'll ever get, isn't it? Wow.
Well, that was a wonderful race to see. We'll do it all again tomorrow, but we are on